Instagram and TikTok are saturated with bad health advice, and the gurus are moving somewhere that you may not expect. LinkedIn. With over 1 billion users, but fewer than 1% posting, LinkedIn offers a massive opportunity to fill an authority gap and grab instant attention. The issue is that it's currently being filled by the loudest voices, not the most accurate ones. So in this video, I'm breaking down why LinkedIn has become a goldmine for health misinformation, why this matters, and what you as a user can do about it. You may already be thinking, don't all social media platforms reward bad health advice? And you'd be correct in saying that, but LinkedIn has a fairly unique problem because it doesn't self-correct well. If a big health voice puts out a video with a per take on Instagram, within minutes you're going to have qualified health professionals making response videos and getting active in the comments, thoughtfully critiquing what they've said. But this isn't common on LinkedIn. You can sometimes see a little pushback in a post comment section, but for the most part, bad takes don't get the scrutiny they deserve. Which brings us on to problem 2. Now, if you spend enough time on LinkedIn, you'll notice a lot of posts on how positive it is compared to other social platforms. And that's fine if you're a recruiter, but this positivity directed towards health professionals posting objectively wrong information to a big following on a regular basis is dangerous. Here's how it usually plays out. A doctor or a health coach posts a bad take. Hardly anyone credible pushes back. Marketers flood the comments early with AI garbage agreeing with the take, and the algorithm boosts the post because of all the engagement. It's a win for the charlatan and the marketers, but it's a loss for the audience. LinkedIn also falls into this weird middle ground where it functions like social media, but it's branded as a professional network. Because of this, it can feel more trustworthy than, say, Instagram, where a lot of the audience already expect bullshit health advice as the norm, which ties well with our final problem. Unlike Instagram and TikTok, LinkedIn is still primarily a text-first platform. Now, this is a problem because you can easily use text to strip context and nuance, and what you're left with are binary, absolute takes that tend to get the click. If I post a hook with the claim, eating blueberries fixes 90% of all gut issues, it's going to get a lot more impressions than blueberries can support a healthier gut microbiome, even though some people will immediately recognize the former hook for the slop that it is. Once the positive comments start rolling in from marketers, it begins to look convincing. LinkedIn then sees higher user engagement and dwell time and thinks this must be high value content, and then pushes it to thousands more people. And this is at the center of the issue. Let's now break down a recent example of health misinformation being shared at scale to market a business on LinkedIn. The post starts like this. A broom handle just fixed my CEO client's 10-year back pain in 47 seconds. So straight away, we've got a personal anecdote paired with a magical claim. If you're in any way familiar with our current understanding of pain, then you'll know this outcome isn't realistic. This post is already not credible, but let's continue for the sake of this exercise. After spending $10,000 on chiropractors and massage therapy, a $5 broom handle did what nothing else could. The move, kneeling T-spine rotation. Okay, so now we're being told that a single dynamic stretch can resolve a decade of undefined back pain in under a minute. The author continues, here's why 90% of desk workers have garbage posture. Given the context of this post already, we can assume that that's a made-up statistic to invoke fear. Your thoracic spine is locked up from 8 hours plus of hunching. When it can't rotate, your lower back and neck compensate. Hello, pain. So this is a further nod to the author talking about pain with a large amount of confidence without knowing very much about it. Just as a quick aside, loads of factors contribute to pain. Attributing it to extended hunching alone is misleading at best. Now we finally get the cure. The 47-second fix. Sit on a bench. Place a broom handle across your upper back, place a foam roller or pillow between your knees, rotate your body, and do 10 reps each side. You're spending thousands on complex solutions when a broom handle in 47 seconds would fix it. Want more 1-minute health fixes that actually work? So the key problem with posts like this is that they're not designed to be accurate. They're designed to drive inbound leads from people who recognize themselves in the story and want a fast solution. What the author is really saying is, I have the answer to your health problem with my one weird trick methods, which is a core tactic in the Charlatan Handbook. What makes this worse is that the post received massive amounts of engagement and the comments are almost entirely positive, which ties directly back to some of the problems I mentioned earlier. Now, I care a lot about the accuracy of the information I put out online, as every health and performance professional should. That doesn't mean I never make mistakes or that I don't have the occasional bad take, but what matters more is the pattern. How often is inaccurate information shared and at what scale? If I have 2 followers and I share some bad advice, the impact is contained. I can directly reach out and correct it. But if I have 10,000 followers and frequently share misinformation, that can have major consequences. In many cases, bad health advice does 4 things. It undermines legitimate evidence-based health advice. It sets unrealistic expectations. People end up blaming themselves when they don't get the miracle results they were promised, even though they did everything that they were supposed to do. It exploits your finances. Bad advice is almost always tied to a product or service, and it changes behavior for the worse. Most of us probably know someone who avoids eating fruits and vegetables because of something a health guru said online. That is the kind of advice that, if followed over time, will likely lead to a shorter lifespan. So my blunt opinion is that these accounts should be restricted for undermining public health, and the owners should actually face legal consequences, not rewarded with a reach boost. So what's the solution? Here's what I recommend. Firstly, click on the poster's profile and check for relevant credentials. LinkedIn is one of the few platforms where you can get a full snapshot of someone's professional background in seconds, so I take advantage of that. If you want to dig deeper, copy and paste the post into Perplexity. Ask it to fact check the claims against gold standard human evidence. This works well most of the time, although it's not ideal for every post format. If you're still unsure, use a vetting checklist. The one on screen is the one I use in my practice, so feel free to screenshot it if you found it useful. And if you're entirely sick of seeing health advice on LinkedIn, or you just don't want to see posts at all, you don't have to. The Chrome extension Newsfeed Eradicator hides the feed entirely, which is a good move if you're mostly on desktop. One tactic I definitely don't recommend is engaging with the content. These people do not care about accuracy. If you push back publicly, you usually just end up looking combative, or even worse, you push their post to reach more people. It's not worth it. Now, if you go through this process and find out that they're lying, just report the post and unfollow them. Broadly, I think a much better default for learning about health and performance is in long form, where you stick to YouTube videos and books published by qualified health professionals who don't consistently pitch you with a bunch of crap. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep learning, check out last week's video up here.